Living about 4 hours from Branson, Missouri, we like to sneak away every now and then for a little mini vacation. So come along with us for day one of our Branson trip. And honestly, if you live within 4 hours of Branson, I highly recommend making it a regular getaway. There's just so much to do here. After the 4 hour drive, we decided the perfect way to start our trip was with a hike at the Rourke Creek Waterfall Trail. We pulled into the parking lot area across the street from Westgate Branson Woods Resort, and right away I was thinking, wow, this place looks nice. Low key, I kind of wished we were staying there. There's plenty of parking in front of that old charcoal plant, and the trail itself isn't really that bad at all. Once you get into the woods with the trees and the water flowing beside you, it honestly doesn't even feel like you're in the city anymore. Now, we were hiking during a dry spell, so there wasn't nearly as much water as there would normally be. But spoiler alert, come back tomorrow for day two, and I'll show you what this place looks like after some rain. The trail itself isn't super difficult, but it definitely isn't paved. There's rocks, roots, bumps, uneven ground, nature, but that's part of the fun. One of the best parts was just listening to the water while we walked. We saw fish, birds, and yes, even a snake. Thankfully, he seemed way more interested in avoiding the camera than bothering us. Now, I usually take the off-the-beaten-path route while Vicky stays on the safer main trail. Somehow we always end up at the same place anyway. Now, the hike is about 3/4 of a mile, and we made it there in about 20 minutes, and we weren't rushing at all. We stopped here and there, looked at nature, checked out the fish. We spent about 10 minutes at the waterfall itself, and as you can see there, it's not running real heavy right now, but again, join us tomorrow. You'll see a whole different waterfall. Vicky stood there and watched while I climbed up to higher ground to get a better view. And then after we were there for about 10 minutes, it took us about 20 minutes to hike back out. So altogether, it was 1.5 miles, and we made it in less than an hour. And honestly, it was exactly what we needed after sitting in the car for 4 hours. While we were at the waterfall, I noticed this really cool seating area, and I thought, wow, that would be really cool to sit there and watch the water flow during a rain. Remember that because it comes back later. After the hike, we headed back to the car, but first we had to stop and say hello to this groundhog. Fun fact, did you know groundhogs and woodchucks are the same? Just found that out. So we punched in the address to our hotel, and you're not going to believe this. It was the exact same resort we'd just been admiring, Westgate Branson Woods Resort. So we literally had to turn around and went right back. Let me tell you, security and the staff here were incredibly friendly and very helpful. It was a pleasure meeting everyone and just learning all about the amenities of the resort, which are quite a few. Like I said, I didn't spend a fortune on the room because I figured we'd mostly be out exploring Branson. But let me tell you, for the price, this place was fantastic. It had a nice fireplace, a kitchenette, had a 1 bedroom with a very comfortable bed. The bathroom area with that big mirror and all that lighting was just incredible. And of course the shower, which we didn't do any laundry, but there was also a washing machine there. But like I said, we're not here for the room. If you ask Vicky, she'd tell you we came here for the wine. So naturally, we headed out to one of our favorite Branson area wineries, St. James Winery. But I did happen to notice that some genius built a cheese store in between these two wineries. He deserves some kind of an award for that. I'm sure his sales are through the roof. St. James Winery is always a welcome sight for us. Great wine, great staff, and a beautiful store. We always enjoy coming here. While we were here tasting wine, we met a really fun couple from Texas who told us Branson had always been a bucket list destination for them. So cheers to Branson. Cheers to St. James Winery. We ended up grabbing glasses of wine and sitting outside visiting with that Texas couple for a couple hours. It was a beautiful day, and the wine was great, and we had a lot of fun. But eventually food was needed, so off to Scooter Sports Grill we went. I've been to Branson many times, but I've never been to Scooter Sports Bar before. This place has really good vibes. They had a great staff, and once we round this corner here, they have a beautiful bar area. But me being the outdoorsy type I am, we had to sit outside. Man, it was a beautiful day out, and we enjoyed some time out on their patio. Our server Pat got us seated and made sure we had a drink, and then we looked over the menu. He was super friendly and very helpful. He asked me if I'd ever had blackened wings before. I told him no, and he said, "Trust me, you won't regret it." Well, as you can see, I didn't regret it. I can say Pat was absolutely right. I honestly don't know if I'll ever eat wings any other way now. On the way out, we noticed World of Wizards Blacklight Mini Golf. We didn't try it this time, but it definitely looked fun. We actually stopped a couple coming out and asked what they thought, and they highly recommended it. One thing that I really appreciated about this trip was the traffic. If you've been to Branson during peak tourist season, you know it can get pretty wild. But we were there just before the busy season kicked off, and honestly, it was perfect. So after the hike and the food, it was getting late in the day, and our usual next stop would be the Cheeky Monkey. It's a really fun local hangout bar, but it was all the way across town, and I didn't want to drive there, so we found a place on our side of town. Actually, the sister of Cheeky Monkey. It's called Crazy Craig's Treehouse. And just like its big sister, this place is a really fun hangout. A lot of locals hang out there, and it's just really fun to go in. If you need any information about Branson, go in and ask. They know everything. So just like their sister bar, the Cheeky Monkey, Crazy Craig's Treehouse welcomes you in with a free shot, and they are delicious. And now they're even making their own liquor, including coconut rum. Did somebody say coconut rum? Yeah, there was absolutely no way Vicky was leaving without buying a bottle of that. At this point, we had our hiking in, we had our wine tasting, great food, and fun social atmosphere. There was only one thing left to do: pool and hot tub time. Back at Westgate Branson Woods Resort, we found a beautiful large pool and an equally impressive hot tub. And because we came the week before tourist season really started, we basically had the whole place to ourselves. And that wrapped up day one in Branson. Come back tomorrow for day two, because you remember that waterfall viewing deck? Yeah, we go back.